I'm late for my own video. That's pretty. I lost track of the time. I guess. Hi, Lisa M. I don't even know if you're still here. Okay, I'm trying to hook up something and clearly not. I'm working on a different video thing. All right. I'm Sher with Share Peace and Love. Uh, Hold on. I'm sending a notification. I totally lost track of the time. Oh, wow. You ever have those days? I can't believe I did that. Okay, I'm Cher. I'm an intuitive. I receive messages in various ways, shapes, and forms. My house is a mess, and that's my fake dog in the background. Very low maintenance. Hi, Miss Bob. I was working on doing some kind of technology stuff, which I'm clearly failing at the current time. So that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. I want to talk. Today, I want to talk about spiritual lessons that we learn. And man, do we learn them, right? Uh, One of the things that I've noticed, buying a little Palo Santa, I've noticed that we learn spiritual lessons, and it seems to start, maybe not everybody, but this awakening process seems to start with like something really crazy happening in your life. Hi, Kiss. So usually, it's like a dark night of the soul or something that comes up in your life when you have a spiritual awakening. Tuned in because of the title? We are. We're going to be talking about spiritual lessons. Yes, we are, Ms. Ba. And the spiritual lessons are, well, the first one it starts with is self-love and worthiness. Okay. Um, One of the most important things that I can tell you that I had to learn about myself is that we all need to feel worthy. We need to have self love. I think that's really where it starts. I think once you realize that you need to love yourself first so that others can love you. Oh, thank you, Kiss. You're so cool. I appreciate that. It's so nice talking to you that day, too. So we have the first thing that we need to do is recognize that we have worth and value in the universe. We have, we need self love. I didn't have that for a long time. I didn't even know, people would say, well, you don't love yourself very much or you don't have self love. And I was like, I love myself just fine. But then one day I really did start to love myself. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I didn't love myself just fine. I didn't even know what love was. And so I found that very interesting that uh, I didn't know that, and I think a lot of people in our environment, uh, I feel like I've been blind for half my life, honestly, because I was just going along, living my life, nothing special going on. Few dramatic things, of course, like those are life lessons we learn. And then all of a sudden, I was like, whoa, what the heck happened in my world? And hello, lovely day. That's when the spiritual lesson came in, when everything in my world just really fell apart and disintegrated. That's when I got my spiritual lesson. And part of that was like, I think the first sentence, self-love and worthiness, talking about realizing that you are inherently valuable. Guys, if you don't love yourself, no one else will. And you have to love yourself. When you start to love yourself, that is when you make that connection, that alignment with the universe. Uh, Also, one of the things that I brought up is for some of you that miss this is you don't need external validation anymore. My whole life, I went around going, I did this, this, and this, right? Hey, I did all this, waiting for someone to tell me how good it was. And I needed that because hi, Shana, I didn't feel good about myself. So I needed somebody else, happy Saturday, to tell me that I was good. So if you find yourself going around pointing out all the good things that you're doing in the world, it's probably because you you need the validation. And so, and when I do that, let's see, I don't know, lovely day. I'm not doing like readings. We're just doing a lesson, spiritual lessons to learn today. But you could tap in and find that out. You could ask God. You could tap in and do a meditation and say, was this me? Did I do this? That's always a good idea. Okay, so we realize that we don't, as we start this spiritual lessons, growth, whatever you want to call it, don't get wrapped in the name. We realize that we don't need that external validation. I don't need you to tell me I'm a good person anymore. I don't need you to tell me you love me. I love myself. I love who I am. I embrace my divinity, my living, my life. I embrace all of it. I'm taking it. And if you don't fit in the picture, or you don't act in love, then that's not my path. Sometimes we have people that we make ourselves smaller for. We make ourselves smaller because we want to be loved so bad that we're willing to make a whole bunch of changes just to have somebody to love us. And what happens is somebody would have loved us anyway. We didn't have to make all those changes. We didn't have to get rid of the parts of ourselves that we don't recognize, or we didn't have to do everything because we thought we'd make somebody mad, or it didn't have to be perfect. Here's an example. This is not a perfect channel. Okay, come on. I got a fake dog in the background. But I love myself. And part of loving yourself is embracing who you authentically are. Have I made a ton of mistakes in this life? Oh, God, yeah. Do we all? Yeah. Uh, what can I tell you about mistakes? Don't worry about them. I mean, take the lesson, please. For God's sake, take the lesson on the mistakes. But what I am saying is, you've made that mistake. You've learned from it. You move on. Somebody brings it up in your life or uses it as a weapon against you. Go, why? Hi, yeah, I was a drunk. I was drunk. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Lovely day. My favorite drink was screwdrivers. I liked them morning, noon, and night. Thank you. I appreciate that. But the thing was, I was really just self-medicating with alcohol because I did not want to feel the feelings and emotions that I felt. I wanted to numb myself. And a lot of us in today's world, we numb ourselves with medicine, alcohol, you know, uh, relationships, whatever it is that we use to not think about our, to be our authentic self. Sometimes we do that. We run. I used to be a runner. Now I'm not a chaser, but I'm not a runner. I'm just me. How's that? Okay, so that's the first thing. Number one, self-love and worthiness. You got to have them. Okay, if people talk to you mean or ugly, or they act in non-loving ways, that's not love. Okay, that's not love. Love is love. Love is kindness, gentleness, peace. Look it up in First Corinthians. Okay, but if somebody thinks it's okay to talk to you, the reason I'm talking about this is because this comes out with self love. This is if you're in a relationship with somebody that doesn't love you, that's mean to you, that says things like you're not worth a damn, or you screwed up, or how could you do this, or this is all your fault, and they're always blaming and being mean and not so nice and having to be in control and write the story. That's not love. Okay, and somewhere in there, I don't know if this is for everybody, but somewhere in there, I feel like a lot of us want to be loved so bad that we're willing to change to be that person that can be loved. And honestly, we're already that person. We just don't recognize it in ourselves. Okay. So, self-love and worthiness. You are inherently valuable. How could you not be? You are a child created by the Most High, by God. Okay. Also, you don't need the external validation. You know who you are. You know your path. You don't even need me. I mean, I'm glad you come and see me, but and I appreciate that. But like, if you're aligned and you're walking the path that you're supposed to walk, God's going to give you the messages. Now, some of us are in various stages of our path. Okay, confirmation, and we, you know, I do truly believe in divine timing. I believe that when we're on our path, that God gives us what we can handle. Like truly, a year ago when I started this channel and I had 3 subscribers, that if that, and one of them was a relative or two, that was what I could handle in my life. I've grown, and the channel has grown with me, but God has given it to me in increments I can handle. So a lot of times when we are thinking about these things in our lives, like why aren't they coming together? Why isn't this happening? Why doesn't this work? What we need to really be thinking about is shifting our perspective. It's not working for a reason. It's not the right timing. I have faith in divine timing. This will work out the way it is supposed to work out. You know, you hear all those phrases. What is for you will not pass you by. As above, so below. All those things, okay? So that was the first one, self-worth and love, self-love and worthiness. And also embracing your authentic self without shame. Yes, I was an alcoholic. Yes, I wore the pink jumpsuit. Yes, am I proud? No, I'm not proud. There are a lot of things I'm not proud of in my life that I've done. Did I learn from them? Oh, God, yes. Sometimes more than I wanted to learn. But here's the thing, it made me who I am today, and it made you who you are today. Okay? So if you are a child of God, the Most High, and you are, embrace your authentic self. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about what others think. The person you need to be right with most is you. You know, and that's the thing. You don't have to please anybody else. If you love yourself and you embrace yourself as you are, and I am, I mean, come on. I have 3 different colors of hair. But I embrace and love myself the way I am because what God wants me to do. And if people around you don't embrace and love you for who you are, say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your luck. I hope you have a good life. Is it blunt? Yeah. Is it true? Yeah. Is it what you should do? Yeah. It's not love when people tear you down. Tearing someone down is not love. Okay, that brings me to the second, the second thing that we're going to talk about here today, and spiritual lessons to learn is detachment and letting go. Okay, so that kind of comes with self love and worthiness. Sometimes there are things in our life that we need to let go of. And I mean, we really need to let go of them. All right. Um, Surrendering, control, and trusting the flow. That's what we're talking about. That's how we do it, detachment and letting go. Okay, I'm not in control of anything. And if you've been through a dark night of the soul, you know you are not in control of anything. God can snap his fingers and change your life in a minute. Sometimes in ways you were not ever expecting. And a lot of times he does that is, you know, for me, he gave me the message like, don't do this. This is not good for you. This is not going to be a good thing. And I ignored the message. Okay. And then he stepped in and I was like, whoa, okay, this is bigger than me. And a lot of times in our life, it is bigger than me. It's more than we can handle, you know. It's bigger. It's huge sometimes, but that's the thing. Um, we've got somebody walking with us, right? You got the divine, the Most High, and it's nice when you're not walking alone, right? Okay, so we surrender control and we just trust the flow of life. Man, that's nice. I like that. You know what happens when you surrender control and trust the flow of life? Don't worry. You quit worrying about what is going to happen tomorrow. My ex-husband used to say, worry, what do you say? Something about worry doesn't accomplish anything, basically. You know, I used to say the definition of a crazy person is doing the same thing over and over again, which is correct. And we've all been there and we've all done that. But worry is a lack of faith. My mom used to say that fear, worry, or lack of faith. So we have to surrender control. We don't need to write the story. Okay. It's sometimes when we write the story, it's not very good. But if we hand it over to God and we let Him write the story, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. Okay. Also, you have to learn as we're going through this spiritual journey that impermanence is part of love. There are people, excuse me, that come into our lives that are meant to be with us for a very short period of time. And they're here. And most of the time, they teach us some kind of crazy spiritual lesson, right? Or not. And then we move on. And at my age, uh, I find myself, I'm looking back on all these stories of my life. No, I don't think I'm dying. I think it's like a rewind to let you know that wherever you are right now in the universe, in your life, that's where you're supposed to be. And then when you're not there anymore, you move on to a different timeline, as they call it. Okay, so part of this process is simply going, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to worry about it, you know? God is good all the time. Okay. So then the other thing that we need to work on, and I'm pretty sure I won't get all these in today, but yeah, yeah. Can I read your cards? Yeah. But can I also teach you how to walk in the light and in alignment and learn those lessons so that you don't need cards? I mean, you need the Most High, you need the divinity, you need the love and the peace and the presence of mind. Okay. And cards are temporary. God's full time. Hi, Mary Joanna. We're not reading today. We're talking about spiritual lessons to learn. And we've covered being self-love and worthiness, and also detachment and letting go. And now we're on presence and mindfulness. My high energy here. Okay, so in presence and mindfulness, what are we doing? First of all, we are living in the now. We're not living in the past. Damn, I can't stand that person. No, we're letting those things go. We're not freaking out about the future. Okay, we are living in the here and the now. Hi, Shika. Hi, Smiley. Oh, no problem. We're doing a lesson today on spiritual lessons to learn, and we're on presence and mindfulness. Thank you, Smiley. Hi, good to see you, Sugar. Okay, so living in the now, not in the past and not in the future. And the other thing is observing thoughts without attachment. You know, like even I think we all do it. Like, okay, let's say here's a thought: I got to go to work tomorrow. It's going to be terrible. It's a stressful week. It's the worst week of the month. That's attachment. Okay. I'm going out on this hot date tonight. I bet he's a loser. That's that is attachment. You observed a thought, you had an attachment. Okay. So we need to learn to observe our thoughts without attachment. Okay. I'm going to work. I don't have a preconceived notion what this day is going to go about. I have gratitude for the life I have, and I love the life I have, but I'm not going to make an assumption about anything in my world today. Yeah, and it is hard. It's hard to live in the now, but also, Sugar, one of the things you remember or people don't think about. Oh, thank you, Smiley. I appreciate that. Is one of the things people don't think about is the fact that, hold on, now that's my train of thought. Living in the now. Like, if you're not living in the now, what are you missing in the now? Like, what are you missing that you're so preoccupied with? I used this example yesterday, like being on the back of a bike and taking a whole bunch of motorcycle pictures, and you're so busy taking the pictures, you miss it. And then it's over. And then you get to look at the pictures when you could have just put the camera down, been in the sunlight, been in the nature, enjoyed the moment, enjoyed the experience. So when I say living in the moment, that's more what I'm talking about. Like, don't miss the moments that are important because you're so busy trying to record them or something crazy. And yes, pictures are great, and it's great to have them, but also it's great to have those moments. So there's a balance in there. Okay, so number 2 on presence and mindfulness. Okay, we did that one. Observing thoughts without attachment. Okay, number 3 is finding peace in simplicity and awareness. Wow, that's terrible. I think that, to me, that speaks more like, um, yeah, I was in a relationship before confirmation and they wanted to go shopping a lot. Okay, or it's like the things that they didn't have. The focus was on the things they didn't have. Okay, and how they couldn't be happy until they had it. And so that's, I get it. But here was the thing: you got those things, and then that emotion is fleeting. You've got it. It's like the new car. It's great. It's wonderful. Then the payment comes. I'll be happy when I have that new car, which I'm shooting for a pink Cadillac Escalade. But the thing is, when I get it, is it really going to make me happy? Or is what I need, is my happiness going to come from the inside, from having that connection, from walking in the light? You know, material things can be, it's okay. And it's good to feed your soul, but it's also good to feed your soul without material. You can have a healthy balance. I have nice stuff in my house. I like my house. I have beautiful art. I have things that make me comfortable in my spirituality. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. There is something wrong with that being the focus of what you need to make you happy. If things make you happy, then you're probably not in the best place. Let me correct that. It's great to have things, and things should make you happy. You should have things in your life that give you joy. I totally agree with that. But if those are the things that make you feel whole, that's not the correct way. You get the wholeness from within, from being aligned, from embracing your divinity, from doing acts of service to others and for others. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go on. We were talking about, this one is finding peace and simplicity and awareness. You know, when you get rid of all the noise, all the background noise, guess what happens? It gets quiet. And that's when the peace kicks in. Peace and simplicity, where you're not running around in circles trying to make everything happen all day long, every day. Okay? So that is presence and mindfulness. We are now moving on to forgiveness and compassion. Please let me know how you guys like these, if you like these lessons, if you find them effective. Now, I agree with that, Sugar. That's a very strong and wise statement. I agree because I push for a better place. I got a better place uh, through God's help, of course, but because I wanted to do better for myself, I want to do better for this channel. I want to make this channel work. I want to create more peace and love in the world. And this is the only way I can think of to do it. By the way, Jack sent me a beautiful donation for a new bell. Look at this new bell. And it's a Christmas bell. I love Christmas bells. My other bell. Thank you, Jax. I really appreciate it. Chickabary said, here's my little angel. Here's my dinger. And here's my bell. But you are right, Sugar. It is part of the alignment thing and wanting to be a better human, have a better life. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't misunderstand that. It's when that you rely on those things, even little things, to make you feel like you have worth and value. When you need to take the worth and value inherently from within by your connection with source, with the divine, and love yourself. Okay. All right. Now we are on Ooh, forgiveness and compassion. That's a tough one. Okay, forgiving others and yourself for past pain. Guys, there are things in my life that I truly thought were unforgivable. Like, seriously, unforgivable. I was like, no, never forgive that. But God has a way of opening your heart and allowing you to give people forgiveness, even those that don't deserve it. Um, I mean, I guess that makes me wrong to say that, but sometimes people create situations. Oh, wow. No, you have to forgive yourself. Sometimes people create situations in their life, and a lot of times, like, they don't even know they're creating the situation, if that makes sense. And there are honestly things I thought I could not forgive. And those things I've forgiven them, but I've forgiven them for myself. I've forgiven them so that I can move on in my life. Uh, I've forgiven them so I can let go of that pain that I don't want to hang on to that will hurt me forever. Okay. So there is something huge about forgiveness and compassion, forgiving yourself and others for past pain. When you forgive others, like, it doesn't matter anymore. Does that make sense? You don't care anymore. It happened, you moved on, and you forgave yourself, and you forgave the other, and life goes on. Because you can drag it out, you can be mean, you can be ugly, you can say a whole bunch of awful things about someone, or you can act in love and forgive yourself, forgive the other person, know that it wasn't meant to be, and move on. Because going back honestly doesn't work. If you go back every time and every time it gets worse and worse and worse, God is trying to tell you something. If you're picking your stuff up out of the front yard, and this feels important for someone, if somebody is out there picking their stuff up out of the front yard because it's been thrown out of your home, you're in the wrong relationship. Okay. It is a cleansing of the subconscious when we choose to forgive and release. I totally agree with that. And it's the kindest thing, one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. Okay, number two, understanding, and this is under the same category, forgiveness and compassion, but understanding that everybody acts in their own level of awareness. There are people that are not aware, like they don't have a clue, and they're not on the same path. And you got to respect that. You weren't on the same path. We're all on different paths. And we have to respect others' paths. They may not be in the same level of growth that we're at, or we may not be at their level. You just never know. So you just need to accept that you are where you are, they are where they are. Stay in your lane. The other thing is release. Sorry, my face is really itching, which is indication spirit is here. Release. What are we releasing? Release fear-based control. How do we release fear-based control? Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. Well, we push past it. Okay, I'm pushing past it right now. I'm on this YouTube video talking about spiritual lessons that we need to learn. This is not easy. I was 6 minutes late actually because I was busy doing something else. Sorry about the lateness, guys. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so we have to we can't operate in fear, or we can't keep fear from letting us operate. If fear is holding you back, something's wrong. You got to fix it. You got to push past it or understand it. A lot of things we're afraid of, we just don't understand. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to, another one, a new one. Which one are we doing? Let's see. Oh, shoot. I got that out of the wrong category, but that's okay. Somebody needed to hear it. Okay. So, practicing compassion without martyrdom. How many times have you said, I did this for this person? I helped them. I was so good. I was so kind. I can't believe the wonderful things I did for this person. Why? Do you really need the validation? Maybe some of you do, but here's my thing. That's not why you do it. You do it as an act of service to the Most High. You do it as an act of service to yourself. Because when you get out of your head and you quit thinking about your own problems and you help somebody else and you realize that there are bigger problems in the world, it's an act of service for everyone, the person you do it for, the Most High, and yourself. So, and there's always an opportunity for an act of service in this world. Like, please forgive me for saying this. Like, for example, if Elon receives the car back from Trump, Elon, feel free as an act of service to just have that car delivered to my house. I'm sorry I was bad, but I feel like the whole world is going crazy and we're in this crazy drama thing with two little boys playing in the playground, both trying to have the bigger toys. And our country's going to hell in a mess. And I don't usually talk about politics, but why? Why is it on an ego thing? Why can't it be on a love and peace thing in our environment and our worlds? Shift into a better dimension, not where everything, the mountains are falling in. That has to tell you something about our planet. I believe that peace and love will make a difference. Maybe I'm crazy, but clearly God is not happy if he's letting the mountains fall, okay? Because he does control all of that. All right, I'm off my soapbox. All right, the next one is trusting and surrendering. Trust that everything that is being done happens for your highest good. That is a very hard one when you are desperate, frustrated, angry, hurt. And you just like, you're like, yeah, all this is just working for my highest good. Not that easy, right? Not that easy. Oh. Sorry, bear with me. All right. Yeah, that's a big one. To me, that's a big one. You have to trust that everything is happening and working in your highest good. Wow, that's huge. All right. But also, there's a thing about you have to just surrender to the divine, to timing and guidance. When I started this journey and started receiving the messages, I was like, okay, not happening, not today. But it didn't go away. It got stronger. And that's how you know you have a gift in life. When you have something and it feeds your soul and it doesn't go away and it gets stronger, that's a gift. That's how God is asking you to pay attention to it. Okay, so we have to trust that everything happens to our highest good, and we need to surrender to divine timing and guidance. And those are big ones, okay? And that's where I got this other one, release fear-based control. Like if somebody's controlling you with fear, no, let it go. You know, it's like Frozen, let it go, let it go. I don't even know how you guys put up with me. So let's go to the next one. Item number 6 in our spiritual lessons. Item number 6 is boundaries and sovereignty. That is learning to say no with love. You know, it's like working in a bar, you know. The guy has the 4th drink and he doesn't need the 5th. And you're like, hi, buddy, it's all good. Let's go, you know, it's time to go home, sweetheart. You're good. You've had a great day. Do it with love, okay? Do all things with love. When you do it with love, guess what? You don't go back and regret. Because when we get out of love and we act in anger or fear or resentment, something happens and we lose control of our power. And we don't want to lose control of our power because it's hard to get that back. Okay, so We have to learn to say no with love. That's called setting boundaries. Okay. Setting boundaries means honoring your energy, your time, your space. Lord, it's so dark in here. It feels like nighttime. Uh, Honoring your energy, your time, and your space. It's okay to say, no, this doesn't work for me today. All right. No, I can't do it today, but I can do it tomorrow. Or no, I'm just zapped. Uh, it's okay to do those things. Okay. We do need to honor our energy and our time and our space. All right. And also, you need to understand that boundaries can be sacred, not selfish. Honoring yourself is also being sacred. Choosing to forgive, choosing to release, choosing to have a great day. You know. So set some boundaries today. When you're out there, set some boundaries today about where you're going to go in your life, how you're going to move forward. Okay. I'm sorry, that would be intention, but also intention and boundaries run hand in hand if you haven't figured it out. I want to make these things happen, but I have to set some boundaries so these things can happen. I'm going to set a boundary for myself. I'm not going to watch TV all day. I'm going to get out. I'm going to make some things happen. I'm going to learn how to make this work. I'm going to take a walk in nature. I'm going to ground myself. There's all kinds of boundaries. I'm going to turn my phone off for a minute or longer. So these are all healthy, wonderful things to do. So the first one was self-love and worthiness. Guys, love yourself. Please love yourself. The second one was detachment and letting go. Yes, we do need to let go of things. Uh, if you're at a point where things are hurting you, to hang on to them, let them go. If it's a relationship, an old situation, something that hurt you in your vibrational life and whatever, and it's not serving any purpose, to hang on to it, let it go. Also, presence and mindfulness. Live in the present. That's all we're going to say there. Forgiveness and compassion. Forgive others like you want to be forgiven. Turn it around. What would you want somebody to do for you? It's biblical. Also, trust and surrender. Release those things that are not for your highest good. If you are unemployed, worrying where your next paycheck or meal is going to come from, and living with some deadbeat that is not helping you, and there's not a reciprocal relationship, release it. Make room for something good and new in your life. It will come, I promise. And even if it's just you loving yourself, that's a very big thing. Okay, last but not least, and this is where I'm going to close it off today. Hello, Arpita. Is we're going to talk about, the last one we're covering is boundaries and sovereignty. Saying no with love, honoring time and space, uh, you know, seeing, understanding boundaries are sacred and not selfish. Those are things, okay? And I'm looking at this note. It says, serve others selflessly. Service without expectation of return dissolves ego and opens the heart. True alignment often includes a call to uplift others. Okay, so we're in true alignment. I want to uplift some of you. So I will pull some cards. I'm going to pull a card for Arpita. If you're in the chat and you'd like me to pull a card, I just think that sometimes we should learn some things, spiritual guidance, spiritual lessons. It's why we're here. I gave Iris like no notice. Actually, I was like, I'm live, and I was 6 minutes late. Yeah, she heard me. That's Iris. Let's see. She's gonna kill me. Okay. Okay. No, Piggy. So now, Iris, let's see what we have for Arpita today. Messages for Arpita at this time, Lord. Let me pray, guys. Okay, well, that was fast. It's a slow climb, Arpita. You're getting there one steady step at a time with a little bit of effort. I will look for you, sugar. Slow climb, Arpita. A little bit of effort. Anything else for Arpita? It's been a minute. Emerging dawn. Trust that every ending is another beginning coming in disguise. All right. So those things that are going away in your life, they're going away for a reason, Arpita. And they want you to trust in that. You're moving forward. You're being asked to plan wisely and to remember your seed of potential. Charge ahead. It's going to be okay. There may be some things coming out that you were not aware of. It's like I see the card of learning secrets, but you are being divinely guided, Arpita. And I do think that you are sculpting yourself into the person that you want to be by releasing and renewing those things that don't serve you. I love this for you. And you're walking unscathed. This is really beautiful. Beautiful. And clear mind. Balance too. That's what I have for you, Arpita. I don't know. Let's see what comes through in the cards. We'll do it one at a time. What is coming in for sugar and guidance for sugar at this time, Lauren? We'll do the children afterwards. You are welcome. You have a new metamorphosis mirage. Like you're going through some changes. It's coming in sideways. Your changes are coming in sideways. They're not quite there. Again, emerging dawn. I did shuffle the cards. What is growth potential? There's something here about embracing courage, moving forward, taking the small steps, keeping your haven safe, like serene haven. That's important to you. I like that. You have a serene, and you bask in those moments and your serenity. I think that quietness is important, but connections are important too. There's a lot of passion in your life. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors opening. You're supposed to stand strong and choose wisely and shake off the past and rise again. That's very interesting. Now let me shuffle and let's ask the random question. Is it true I have two children in the spirit realm that happen? I believe all children are angels for a little while anyway. Let's shuffle these together and see if we can get an answer to the question. All right. Messages for sugar this time. Does he have angel children, Lord? You told me to cut the debt. It's a harbor of peace. It says, find serene refuge in the peaceful embrace of a gentle harbor, allowing tranquility to still your waters. Clarity on angel children. It's not going to tell you. It says, chart your course with intention. The future is yours to design and navigate. We'll try one more thing. Angel children. I think I have a dragon spirit. Okay. Winds of fortune. Allow the winds of fortune to guide your sails. This answer will come from you, sugar, not me. Okay. Okay. I do think I have a dragon spirit. I've been getting that. So you may be very right. Is there anybody else out here with a question? Iris did text that she was on an appointment. I hope she's out having fun. I'm working on a different platform. I'm having a friend help me, but there's a lot going on today, so I don't know how far I'm going to get on it. Thank you for joining me regarding spiritual lessons that we learn. I will be back and I'll try to do a live later. You are so welcome. That was kind of interesting. You sometimes I do get an answer on something like that, but it really felt like that is something you have to what is the message I'm getting? Something you have to perceive from within is what I'm hearing. All right. That's what I have for you guys. I know it was kind of a short session. I love you all. It's Saturday. I work on Saturday evenings, but I'll try to get back on here later and do some more shorts and lives and all that good stuff. I'll see you later. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Arpita, Sugar, everybody. It was great to see you. Go share some peace and love. And lovely day. And D King and Christian Cowboy, you're here now. I'm getting ready to leave. I just did one on spiritual, live on spiritual lessons, but I'll be back on later. I'll try to come on around 3 or so. I have my grandson down and he motivates. It's okay, D King. You're going to get the right message at the right time. Probably around 3 o'clock today. Ah, you loved it. Oh, nice. We were doing some of those things. I can't just come on here and read your cards forever. I have to do some things to help motivate our planet and our environment. Also, if anybody does know Elon, please tell him I'll take that car. I'm being so bad. All right, guys. Love you. Have a great day. Go share some peace and love. Hate to leave you. I will come back on later.